Welcome everybody out to podcast number 423. Are you using your schedule as toilet paper? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I really hope you're doing well. I think you're really going to enjoy this podcast. I'm not being critical, I'm being serious, and I'm lamenting on the current state of our industry and where we are and how we're treating each other in our roles. And I'm reflecting on the fact that if a superintendent with the PM, but the builder, the person coordinating the schedule in the field, did not create the schedule and doesn't manage and maintain and update that schedule weekly and doesn't use that schedule daily, then the schedule is literally toilet paper. And so my thought is, just going back, is that, right now, PMs do the schedule, supers don't follow it, people spend more on toilet paper on their projects than they do on training. So the logical step in my mind is, hey, why don't we save the money that we're spending on toilet paper and reallocate that to pay for training? Give me a call. Does that not make sense? No? Okay, sorry. Well, anyway, it was worth a try. I thought it was funny. But hey, it's up to you. It's your career. So let's go ahead and go right into the topic. Are you using your schedule as toilet paper? That's been on my mind because as I work with companies and superintendents, they're always like, yeah, we created this schedule. And the PM's talking to me, or pre-con or project development or whatever. And I'm like, right. So what you're telling me is that we completely guessed. We have no accurate data. We promised on something that we couldn't deliver. And now we are going to publish a project schedule with procurement that is now misaligned with what the superintendent is actually going to do in her or his head because the plan isn't published and aligned. Great. Let's go ahead and get started with this wonderful project that way. That would be awesome. And it's sad because we can't be doing these things anymore. And I'm not criticizing the people. I'm saying the process is broken. So let's go ahead and head right into this. So I hope you had a great Halloween. I want to tell you that we finally figured out Halloween. So we had lights out front, purple lights on the house. We had big spooky creatures and demons and ghosts and ghouls and goblins and all kinds of stuff. And it was really fantastic. And Katie was able to sit out front and hand out candy and really scare people. We have this little spider that jumps up and scares people. And I really love it. It scares the crap out of kids. So I really like it. I do want to say, no matter what Katie or any of the kids tell you, my pumpkin was the best. I took the most time. It was the neatest. The stem was the nose. It was beautiful. It was the only one that still looked the same day too. I won the pumpkin carving contest, just so you know. I don't care what she's wrong. I don't care what you're saying to me right now. I had the best pumpkin. So we had a jamming house with great candy and good visitors, and it was really fun. Now, here was the best part. We dressed up all the kids, and we were hauling around the neighborhood. The older kids hung out with us for a while. And the younger kids are old enough now to where you can kind of let them haul off in a group. And we live in the middle of a not nice area and like $1 million home nice area. So we always head into the nice area. It's called Royal Palm Park. There's this really beautiful park over there. And all these rich people, and it's literally like a block party on Carnival, right? Halloween is a big deal in my area. So we're going around. I got the Ford F-150, and so I'm playing Ghostbusters. I'm playing Oingo Boingo. I'm playing Thriller by Michael Jackson. I'm playing the Oogie Boogie song from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I am jamming. And so I've got the radio. It hurt my ears a little bit, but I had the radio turned up as loud as I possibly could get it. And then I had Oogie Boogie, the character from The Nightmare Before Christmas, a big 7-foot blow-up doll in the back. I plugged it into my 12-volt adapter in the truck, and it lit up and everything, and we tied it down. And so we're rolling down the street with this thing, and I get out, and I'm dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi with my lightsaber. So couple fun things happen. So as we're driving down, as soon as they would hear my truck, people would start dancing because they could hear the music. And I was like, yeah, baby, that's how we do it right here. And then people would just flock behind the truck and take pictures. So here's the key. You got to have a blow up character for Halloween in the back of your truck with music. And there's this song. Let me see if I can find it. If you want to play like a fun booty jamming song, I'll give it to you right now. So I open it up on SoundCloud. It's called Booty Swing Equinos Equinones remix. Equinones. I don't know how to say it. But anyway, it's called Booty Swing. And it's really a jamming song. So I was playing that. I also played Hello off of the Tony Robbins podcast or playlist. And people were jamming. We had such a fun time. So best Halloween I've ever had. And if you didn't have a great Halloween, there's always next year. So I do want to give a shout out to our folks over at Petticoid Schmitt. They decorated, and I took pictures of it. They decorated the office there, the break room. They had some really spooky creatures and things coming off of the ceilings. It was great. I love it when companies and projects decorate for the holidays. It just adds that special spirit, even if you're in a rush. So that's how we're doing. I must say that going through, there's a new system that we have in place where we meet weekly with clients. They're on a Miro board. They have assignments, and they're on our online platform learning as teams and doing and implementing and tracking their implementation on their projects as teams. And this organizational transformation system that I learned from Niklas Modig is fantastic. I mean, it is so good. So that's my intro. How am I doing? And let's talk about feedback. So how am I doing? I can tell you that in the last 2 weeks, twice, I've been like, is this worth it? Business sucks. Like, this is horrible. Cash flow is always hard. It's always hard to invoice. It's harder than you think to hire people. It is just difficult in every way, shape, or form. Dealing with taxes and accounting and just getting above the line. So people are like, oh, you make $1 million a year in your business. Well, that might sound glamorous, but by the time you pay for everything, I mean, it is hard to make even $100,000 in a year net profit, net profit after taxes. So it is a very difficult thing. Like, if I get a month where we make a couple $1,000s, or and put that into the bank, which actually doesn't go to spending anything, it just goes towards having cash flow and a backup for whatever expenses we have. I'm excited, and it's just been really hard to balance working with clients, getting them done, delivering that remarkable experience, pivoting to online content, getting out ahead of it, staying with everything, working with employees. I mean, it has been absolutely hard. So there have been, and I just want to say, I have no idea what I'm doing. So a startup is kind of this scrappy thing. Like, now I know what I'm doing when it comes to organizational transformations and business consulting and organizational health. That works every time. These scrappy little non-cash flow startups, man, it's hard. And so I just want you to know, some days I just feel like not doing it anymore. But your prayers and good wishes and your compliments and your love and your kindness and your downloads and your sharing of the podcast really do a lot for me. So I want to say thank you. Here's some talk from fans and some feedback. I've just started listening to your podcast on episode 32, and I've started implementing some of what you have discussed. As a younger superintendent running my first job, I've seen only a handful of projects, most of which are the ones that I've been a part of. One of the lean principles that I want to start using is nothing hits the ground. Obviously, we do not want trash in the building, and I've made that clear in the orientations, but I understand we need to have some sort of organization system with the building for trades to store the material. We're in a small project and do not have room for connexes. I was wondering if you have some visuals or some ideas on how to use this technique. One of the big things I want to do is keep extension cords off the ground. And he said I attached my... Have I given this one before? I don't think I have. But anyway, he says, thank you for taking the time to read. And if you have any resources, that would be extremely helpful. Okay, so a couple of things. Keeping the cords off the ground, zero tolerance. I think I have covered this before. I'll do it again just in case. But anyway, it has to be zero tolerance. Cleanliness has to be zero tolerance. Everything needs to be on wheels, colored pallets, or up on greenies, or it has to just go right into place. And I would just say, the best advice that I can give you is get with your superintendents in a meeting, discuss it together, decide together, and implement it together. There you go. Okay, so let me tell you a story. So I usually get to projects, and the PMs and the supers, when I'm talking to them, I'll get something like this. And this is everywhere. So if you're a company and you're like, Jason, I think you're talking about my company and you're mad. No, 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 no. You have no idea. This happens everywhere I go. So the PMs are like, yeah, we made the schedule. And the supers are sitting in the background without their computer open, being like, yep, yep, yep. Okay. And the PMs are like showing the schedule. And the schedule isn't going to be used by the superintendents because they didn't create it. And the superintendents don't use computers and they don't know how to use Excel. Okay. So now we have a problem. If the project manager has to know the financials on the project, then the superintendent has to know the schedule. You cannot be and I'm just going to say this because I love you. You cannot be a superintendent. And I'm not exactly sure that you can call yourself a superintendent if you don't know how to schedule. So you can be like a coordinator, right? But you have to know how to schedule. So this is a problem. And what happens is when the PMs then do the scheduling, the supers don't follow, it becomes toilet paper. And toilet paper, you might as well wipe your butt with it because we're not going to use it on the schedule, right? So it's a problem. Here are some principles to follow. I don't know if that was much of a story, but I will say that that's what happens everywhere I go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have a problem. And then I get some stupid comments and they are stupid comments. The people aren't stupid, but the comments are stupid. Yeah, I just don't do well with technology. I don't do well with the computers. You don't do well with computers because you literally intentionally decided out of laziness to not be good with computers. You can pick that up just like you picked up driving. I tease people. I'm like, did anybody have to show you how to kiss your first kiss? Did anybody have to show you how to be intimate? Did anybody have to show you the first time, maybe when you rode a bike, but did you have to be forced to learn how to ride a bike? Like, look, you just figure these things out. It's the same thing with the computer. I mean, in my generation, there are people that are my age that still say, "Oh, I'm not good with computers." But when I was their age, I picked it up and figured it out. Okay, so I would say Schroeder's law, and this is a production law, is figure things out. Figure it out. Get it done. You can get it done. So we have a problem. A superintendent becomes proficient by running the schedule. I'll tell you this in two ways. A superintendent's job is to see the future. You can't do that unless you get on a production rhythm with flow, because flow is the single most important thing that we have to have in construction. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, the superintendent has to strategize and tactically and logistically be able to control the site at all times. And they can't do that without the visibility of a schedule. Number three, a superintendent has to communicate and keep the time rhythm for the entire project. Everything, submittals, procurement, the alignment, coordination, information, manpower, everything follows the rhythm of the schedule. And so the superintendent has to know that rhythm. The other thing is, when I was a superintendent, this is what I did. I was in the schedule every day. There's a great program. Every super and every PM should have this on their computer, Snagit, or a better one. But don't go using your snipping tool, Snagit. You hit print screen, you take a little screenshot and you go up into send, and it automatically appends it to your email, unless you're on a MacBook, but all Windows computers, it does this automatically. And then you send an email to somebody saying, hey, is this procurement ready? Is this coordination ready? Hey, are your crews ready? Hey. And it becomes a triggering system. Then I went on a field walk, right? And then on my field walk, I'd take a picture. It gets texted to somebody, it goes on a group message, it goes somewhere. It triggers action on a time scale, on a rhythm. The other thing is I would be in the plans in the morning. And so when I would study the plans, I would do my Snagit tool and hit print screen. There we go. Do we have this detail? Send it to a PE. Do we have this material ordered? Hey, do we have this middle panel order? These are triggering systems. So if the superintendent doesn't know how to schedule, doesn't update the schedule, then he or she cannot see the future, cannot manage, cannot strategize, cannot logistically control the site, cannot decide on the best tactics, cannot keep the time rhythm for the project and align all other systems and fulfill their function and their role. And they cannot trigger the preparation of work, whether it's in the field walk or in the schedule or from the drawings. They cannot do it. And so I'm asking you this question. I want you all to reflect. If a superintendent can't see the future, can't plan work, cannot trigger items to be done, cannot strategize, logisticize, or tactically run the project, and cannot trigger work or the preparation of work to be done, what are they doing? They're causing chaos is what they're doing. And we have to stop doing that, because a superintendent only becomes proficient as they have a schedule. Everything, it's like your to-do list. Everything goes through this. No superintendent can understand anything, know what to do, trigger anything, make any action unless they have that out of their minds on a piece of paper and able to use it. So the point of the matter is, I want to communicate. Well, are you going to do that from your head or from the schedule? I want to plan. Are you going to do that from your head or from the schedule? Or I need to align procurement. Are you going to do that from your head or are you going to do that from the schedule? The answer is clear. We have to have a schedule, and it has to be a schedule that the superintendent create and updates. Otherwise, the superintendent will make the schedule that the PM made, turn that into toilet paper, and then redirect everybody to just go into the huddle board of the person's head. And then everybody will be calling that super, and it'll be absolute chaos. The schedule is the basis for all decisions. The schedule is the basis for all triggers. It's important that they create it, the superintendent, so they'll actually use it, so what's in their head is the same on paper. And they must be in it every day, and they must update it every day, and they must print it and in an update every week. That's the only way to scale direction in meetings. It's the only way to strategize on the project. It's the only way to see the future. It's the only way to support the team. It's the only way to align other systems. It's the only way to trigger work. It's the only way to advance. It's the only way to create flow. You have to see the future and make work ready. So a senior superintendent, project superintendent, your job is to see the future and to plan and execute. Assistant superintendents, it's your job to execute the work on a short interval basis. Foreman, it is your job to create the plans for the day, to interact with the last planner system, and to train the workers. And workers, it is your duty to understand the plan and execute in a quality and safe manner that day as a professional crafts worker, crafts person. That's how it works. That's the system. The current condition is that supers are abdicating their roles. They're not doing what they need to be doing because they're not learning technology. So they're like, learning computers would be hard. Learning Excel would be hard. Learning scheduling would be hard. Well, you're not a builder unless you know those things. So you got to get to that. Otherwise, it's all just a bunch of pointing and guessing. So you have to know how to be able to put together a schedule. I've never seen a professional, a superintendent that in a professional company that didn't know how to make a schedule. You just have to be able to. So stop abdicating your role and head in that direction. Here's some questions for you. Are your supers planning the jobs? Are your supers maintaining the schedule? Are your supers updating the schedule? Are your supers in the schedule every day? And project managers, are you creating toilet paper and wasting your time? So I really would just want to challenge you, and I say this because I love you. So if you're a superintendent, you're getting grumpy, you're a PM and you're grumpy, you're like, PMs have been creating this for years. Okay, well, you're wrong. Nana, nana, boo, boo. You're like, liar, liar, pants on fire. You're wrong. So I'm right, you're wrong. Get over it. So it really needs to get to the point where in pre-construction, the superintendents, even if they don't create it, they review it and own it, that it's exactly what's in their head. We have to push it until that's the case. They have to learn how to use computers. They have to learn how to Excel. They have to learn scheduling. If you are not controlling the schedule, and if you don't know how to schedule, then you are not a superintendent. And I hope this has been helpful. I love you. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.